This is the foundation of your pizza, my friend.
I know.
This is a heritage wheat variety called Turkey Red. It was once planted everywhere in America. It was one of the classic premier milling quality grains that has since been all but forgotten in a preference for genetically modified varieties that are Roundup ready and whatnot. And we have this really cool opportunity with some seed to bring it back.
Getting away from hybridized wheat, like you said, that's ready for Roundup and pesticides and, pest deterrent like built into it and hybridized into it. Having something natural is ideal for the pizza. Your pizzas can really only be as good as your dough. It's the base for everything else that's going to go on top of it. So having something natural and getting back to our foundations as proprietors of the land, allowing that to give us something that's really unique and healthy for you. I'm very excited to be using something not only that Migros will produce for us, but something that we have growing here, right here on Burnt Hill. It's very, very exciting.
Happy pigs make delicious salamis. So how do you see us using these pigs on the menu at EPT?
Similar to how we did the year prior, working with meat crafters to produce a salami that really highlights the character of the pork and not adding too many seasonings or spices to let the pork shine through. We're spending all this time and effort raising them properly, so let them be the star of the salami.
So these particular pigs are predominantly Berkshire breed, which is a breed of pig that just has historically lent itself to really delicious meat. And they're also really content in the woods. You can see how they just kind of like root around and create little beds for themselves and sort of eat all of the little roots and insects that they find along the way.
Having worked with heritage breed pigs before in previous ventures as well as these here, you get much more of a true pork flavor and less of like kind of bland, the other white meat, as a lot of pork is known, like, oh, it's supposed to be lean and trim, but it's not. These animals are meant to be fatty and enriched with all of the natural produce that they have access to. I mean, you mentioned the acorns.
We saw all the wild bramble and raspberries and fruit that they're getting back here.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's pokeberries, inkberries. I mean, you said oak trees, so there's tons of acorns falling. All of the roots that they have access to, it just lends to a more earthy, natural pork flavor as opposed to something raised, in a hothouse, sucking up a bunch of electricity to try and keep them cool. This is a natural environment where they can get all of that sustenance and protection and living space as they're meant to be.
So the cool thing about farming these animals in the woods, to my mind, is that it's an opportunity to give back to the land. So much of farming is exploitative, right? Like, we farm these animals to harvest them. But in the interim, as contrasted against raising these animals in feedlots where it's all about inputs, right? Feed, energy, electricity, greenhouse gas emission. These pigs are living in the woods, and their very act of foraging and rummaging through the soil brings air and oxygen to the earth. It helps to heal the soil. They remove invasive species. They perform a lot of really good hygiene for the forest, and as land stewards, we very carefully move them through the woods one pasture at a time every 2 weeks to make sure that we get the benefit, the aeration to the soil, and before any damage or overgrazing takes place, we move them. So there's sort of this symbiosis between the pigs and the land and the farmers, and we work together in a sense to not only produce flavorful meat, but also to heal and to improve the earth in the process. So this is the mushroom farm. We have 200 logs that we have inoculated with shiitake mushroom spores of a few dozen varieties. The logs here are a mix of oak, obviously because shiitake is actually Japanese for mushroom of the oak. We also inoculated some sugar maple, some birch, some beech trees as well, which are just other species of trees in our forest here that lend themselves well to shiitake mushrooms. We have some oyster mushrooms that are grown on totems as well. These logs were harvested, dried, we drill holes, we plug them with mushroom spores, and then we cover them over with beeswax and let them rest. We're midsummer, we don't have yet any fruiting logs, but anticipate deep into this fall when the weather cools down. Hopefully we get some rain after harvest, and that is when the mushroom spores will really take hold. And then for the next 5 to 10 years, until the logs start to break down, they will continually produce a constant crop of mushrooms that we get to eat, and also will play, I think, a really cool role in our pizza program.
Having worked with kind of high quality mushrooms before in the past, I'm very much looking forward to the product that we get out of here. Just to see how it is by itself, and then using it in different capacities in the restaurant over at Eat PT. I mean, I could foresee pickling them. Pickled mushrooms are very excellent. Roasting them, using them on pizzas, potentially in our salads that we've just incorporated to the menu. So a lot of ideas will start coming more to the forefront when we start seeing a lot of these in the kitchen.
We're going to go ahead and break these hives apart and check on our honey growth. Honeybees are a really important barometer to the overall health of a farm. They are not essential to a vineyard in a sense that grapevines don't require pollinators like honeybees. However, honeybees do play an important role in pollinating so many of the other species around our farm, like the wild crabapple trees, like the fruit trees, like all of our cover crops. We've planted a wide variety of wildflowers like vetch and poppies and black-eyed Susans. And so honeybees are all around our farm, pollinating and bringing life. As a reward for our labor, we get in return this really delicious honey that has the character of the flora of our farm. So it will bring with it the flavors of the tulip poplar trees and the sugar maple trees and all of the wildflowers around our farm. So, you know, there's this really beautiful symbiosis between the bees and the health that they bring to the farm and the flavors of the honey that we get in return. And it's really cool to be able to incorporate those flavors into the food that we're able to offer guests that visit our farm.
Welcome to the home of Eat Pizza Together here at Old Westminster Winery in Westminster, Maryland. Our passion has always been to create wines and experiences that connect people with the land, our community, and of course one another. And the newest story in that chapter is the recent opening of our outdoor brick oven restaurant, Eat Pizza Together. Maryland is such a diverse area. It's made up of 10,000 square miles of land and water outlets that greatly influence the characteristics of the ingredients that we're sourcing. There's something truly special about sitting around a table with people you love being with, losing track of time, and enjoying wine and food from the land that's surrounding you. And that's something that we want everyone to enjoy while they're here visiting us. Many of our ingredients are local, they're seasonal, tell us a little glimpse into the menu and how you're working with the seasonality of the produce and the toppings that we're sourcing on the menu.
Right. So yeah, first we start with, the most important part of pizza, which is the dough. Getting that local flour from Burnt Hill. That's the base to all the good pizzas. And then working with a company, Chesapeake Farm to Table. They source from a lot of farms in the Maryland and even Pennsylvania area that are growing produce, and it's all seasonal. I order every week. So as things come into season, I start planning the menu and looking ahead. We're going to be seeing some cabbages come onto the menu here shortly. We'll be charring those and featuring them with our house-made honey mustard that we have. There's a couple other things on the menu as well. We use a local cheese that's really fun. We're getting some beets that are coming into season, which is really exciting. We're featuring those with a sheep's milk cheese from a producer not 10 minutes from us. So that's really exciting. And being in this space, seeing guests interact with the food when they come to pick up their pizza or their pizzas are delivered to their table, and the excitement they feel when they open the box, and having guests come up to us and tell us, hey, that pizza was really great.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it, is where we are with our menu currently.
That's awesome.
So.
Eat Pizza Together was born in the heart of the 2020 pandemic. It was our opportunity to support local farmers, create job opportunities, as well as nourish the community and invite people to come and share a piece of pizza together around the table. It doesn't matter your circumstances, who you are, where you come from. We just want people to be able to come here for a bit of relief and experience that is something unique. We hope you will come and join us for this experience.